train on Skyslope, which we are launching January 1st, 2018. Some of you may be asking, why are we training now? It's 2 months later. Because we're going to give you your login information tonight, 6 o'clock. It'll be emailed to each of you. And then tomorrow I'm going to email you a follow-up of frequently asked questions throughout the training sessions this week with little quick tips and guides for the actual Skyslope, okay? At this point, I just wanted to mention why we're going to Skyslope. We're going to be completely paperless. So, it's awesome, right? We're going to save room in your offices, the trunks of your car, the back seats. We'll finally have digital signature. I know some of you kept asking when are we going to have DocuSign. Now we have DigiSign, which is going to be fantastic. It is mobile optimized, so you can actually literally be on the beach on vacation. You can do your transactions that way. At this time, I'm going to introduce you to people. First, we have Nikki Todd in the back. She is the Vice President of Operations for Skyslope. And Emily Johnson, who's the Vice President for Customer Success. Emily's going to be our trainer today, and at that, I'll hand it over to Emily. Thank you.
Everybody look at the group that's just coming in right now. Hello, hello. Okay, so how many of you were in this session on Tuesday? Okay, you're back for more, right? It was that amazing, you're back for more. So I remember on Tuesday when they had me put on that little Britney Spears contraption, that little ring around my ear. I think they're trying to keep me tied down, right? They're not giving me a lapel mic, but I can make anything happen. So I'm going to be walking around, staring at you, Dan, and having you participate.
I hope you don't get sick looking at me.
Or maybe sharing. Okay. So thank you so much for the warm reception. I have to say, by far, this is one of the friendliest brokerage I've ever been to. So thank you so much for the warm hospitality for the last 4 days I've been here. I really appreciate it. And Monica is the consummate hostess. Every single session, I think she just wants to make everyone happy before I actually go live, right? So enjoy all those sweet, sweet snacks, and thank you so much, Monica. All right, team. So with that being said, as Monica alluded to, you are going to be paperless and digital as of January. So you will be getting your login credentials tonight. All of the different resources that I'm going to talk to you about today, she will send out all of that information. So what I want you to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 30 or 40 minutes with me. So it's going to depend on the number of questions. So earlier, JR, are we best friends now, JR?
Yes, we are.
Okay. JR was wondering where am I from. Can anyone tell where I'm from? I'm sorry?
Chicago.
Chicago? I just went out to lunch with Nikki and someone said, based on how you talk, you definitely sound like a California girl. I don't know what that means. We are from Sacramento, California. I'm proud to announce that our company is 100% located in Sacramento, California. And I know for those who are coming back, this is not your first session, but you're spending multiple days with me. I know the reason why you're back. It's because you're going to miss me, right? So when I'm gone from Indiana, and for those who are from Illinois, you're going to miss me. But what it also means is you're not going to forget about me. When you log into Skyslope, when you become part of the Skyslope family, we're 100% there ready to assist you and make you successful. I'm not digging this mic here. Let's move on. What that means is, even though I'm not here, my entire team is here to support you and to facilitate your success. So right from Sacramento, California, if you need assistance, we are available 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's pretty phenomenal. So if you think about the holidays that are coming up, right? I know that I'm not 9 to 5. I know you're not 9 to 5. The secretaries and the managers in the room, I know you're not 9 to 5 either. So anytime if you need our assistance, you can definitely reach out to the support team in Sacramento. So by the second ring, we're actually going to pick up the phone and have that dialogue with you. So Valerie and Linda, right? I know that's going to break your hearts because you love those phone trees. Sitting there for 30 to 40 minutes, punching those numbers away, all to go ahead and pick on the pound sign to start all over again, right? No more phone trees, my dear. You're going to go ahead and get a live person. If you rather chat with someone, a little icon of the image is going to appear so you know exactly who you're speaking with, and they're going to have that chat conversation. Maybe if it's not too urgent, and you want to just send us an email, go grab a morning cup of coffee, come back within 20 minutes, you're going to get a reply. And team, if we don't meet one of those time frame commitments, we are personally going to send you a $5 Starbucks card, okay? So, really excited, proud of our team. So again, no matter what, if you just want to talk to someone in Sacramento, California, we're always there to assist you. Okay, what does this look like? What do you think? I'm sorry? It's a jigsaw puzzle. I think it kind of looks like any brokerage that's coming to us from a paper solution. What do you think, right? When you're working with your different clients, you're working with your email account, you're trying to get paid in the system, you're trying to get forms from ZipForm. All of that's just a hodgepodge of different tools and systems that you're trying to streamline together. So with Skyslope, what we try to do is organize all of that for you from beginning to end. So as you're working with your sellers and your buyers, taking them through that journey, right, of purchasing their first home or selling their home, we're going to organize all of that for you. We're going to make it digital and we're going to make it paperless. So guess what? Chances are you're going to save on a little gas money because your car's not going to be heavy anymore with all that paper in the trunk. But in all seriousness, I know that actually, I do have a little something to share with you. So whatever happens here in Indiana stays in Indiana, right? I'm going to share you a little secret about Californians. One, we all know each other. Okay, so keep that in mind. Two, especially for me, I'm a little psychic. So what that means is chances are, if you're dying to ask me a question, hold on tight. I guarantee in 2 minutes, I probably would have answered your question too, okay? So definitely keep that in mind. So sometimes not sometimes, but when I go out to different brokerages and I introduce the Skyslope platform, everyone's always thinking, well, how did it come about? Probably from a whole bunch of engineers sitting in a dark corner, some mushrooms growing in the corner, right? Keying away. Absolutely. However, our CEO, Tyler Smith, he by himself sold 300 homes one year, just by himself, and with his team, 1,100 homes. So he definitely, big muscles, lugged around all those files on that little rolling cart. Okay, I know some of you are secretly smiling. You know what I'm talking about, right? So actually, our platform was developed by someone who was in the industry, top 30, under 30, and he knows what he's looking for. And when he was looking for a solution that can help him get rid of all that paper, he really didn't find one, so he ended up developing Skyslope. So that's why I'm here today. So I'm pretty excited about that. Do you remember your first cell phone? Think about that. Some of you are nodding. Okay. You see my forearm? That was the size of your first cell phone, right? It was the size of my first cell phone. I know my kids see it and they're like, what is that? I'm like, the cell phone, they're not believing it. So as you go through, or as we go through Skyslope today, you're probably going to think, gosh, new technology. How hard is it going to be to learn? But if you think about your very first phone, the core functionality is to do what? Make excellent thank you. Make a call, receive a call. Everything else is like icing on the cake, right? There are different apps that you're used to. Now you're doing text messaging. You're taking pictures on a phone. Do you think that was possible back in the 80s or 90s? Absolutely not, right? In essence, what I'm trying to communicate to you is you and we, Monica and I, and Tracy and I, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's going to be everything that you're doing today, except for it's going to be within Skyslope. So let's go ahead and get started. So right off the bat, as your hostess for today, I have some participation prizes. I know some of the ones who are the individuals who are coming back because they want another one from Tuesday's session. Is that correct? Okay. Let's just, and I want to raise some hands because there's so many people in the audience and everybody looks amazing today. And if you already know the answer, you can't participate. How many steps do you think it's going to take you to learn Skyslope? 3. Fantastic. And she hadn't seen my deck yet. This could all be yours, right? I don't want to see it on eBay. I know where you work. Okay, thank you. So my commitment to you is at the end of today, you're going to understand the 3 simple steps you need to take in order to be successful with Skyslope. And as we go through it, let's just really think about what those steps mean compared to your existing processes, okay? Here we go. Step 1, searching and verifying property data. Let's think about that. Is that any different right now? Absolutely not. When you're working with a listing agreement or purchase agreement, you have to tell the managers, what's the property address? Kind of makes sense, right, Valerie? Absolutely. Thank you. Second step, confirming contacts. Who's the seller? Makes sense, right? Or if you're working with a buyer, who the buyer is. And last but not least, you have to submit in those documents. So overall, who's feeling pretty good about this? It's the same process we're doing now, except for we're going to put it in the cloud. You guys ready to see what it looks like? Okay. So at the beginning, Monica was really gracious enough to introduce me. Raise of hand, very first person. What's my name?
Emily.
Emily. Ooh, so fast. I love it. Okay. So when I leave today, and I know you're going to miss me, right? Look at this cute little face. What'll happen is when you log into Skyslope and as you navigate through the platform, you're going to find there's so many amazing things you can do, but we're going to look at the basics today. But what I want to remind you is, remember the Wizard of Oz and Auntie Anne? I'm your Auntie Anne. Okay. As you navigate away from the platform team, here is your logo in the upper left-hand corner. You navigate away from the platform anytime you want to come back home here to the agent dashboard. You're going to click on the logo and it takes you right back home. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about, and of course everyone who's taking, feverish notes, don't worry about it. Monica will send out all the resources for you. But in the upper right-hand corner, you see this little icon with the little headset over it. That is where your support resources will be. We talked about emailing us, chatting us, or giving us a quick call. It all starts at that big blue button in the middle. And for all the managers in the audience, can you raise your hand for me? Managers, okay. I see a couple. At any time, if you'd like to host a lunch and learn session, we can help you order pizza too. That's real. But in all seriousness, team, the Skyslope tutorials are really great. At any time, if you do have any questions, you can always come in here and read through the articles. We have little embedded videos, 30 seconds, a minute or so you can watch how something is done. But then also two additional resources in the Getting Started area that Monica was sent out is some amazing resources. First and foremost, my team hosts 4 live training sessions every single week, AM sessions and PM sessions. So if you want to sit through this course again or get other little tips and tricks, feel free to register for one of those sessions. And secondly, we also have recordings of those sessions as well. So for anyone who's up 1 a.m. in the morning, you're just dying to revisit what Skyslope is all about, feel free to go ahead and access those recordings and view it at your own leisure. Okay? All right, team. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig into Skyslope. So does anybody remember what I said about Californians? How we all know each other? Do you remember that? Okay. I know the individuals who attended Tuesday's session already knows my secret, but let me go ahead and share it with you. Do you recognize her? That always gets a giggle. Miss Oprah. So like a lot of your clients, when they send you paperwork, so in this scenario here, we have a listing packet, they'll email it to you, right? What I'm going to do moving forward is log into Skyslope, and I'm going to decide where do I start. So inside of the system, we have listings and we have transactions. A listing represents a seller, a transaction represents the buyer. And I know right off the bat, someone in the audience here, if not multiple, of you are wondering, well, whoa, wait a minute, Emily. What if I'm representing both sides? Do I need to create two different files, right? You absolutely do not have to. I'm going to show you how you're going to start with that listing, accept the contract, and convert it into a transaction. So I know she's like, very exciting, thank you. So how amazing is that to have everything for you, your secretary, and your manager all collated in one virtual file? No more killing trees, team. We're going to go green and we're going to go virtual. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, what was step number 1? Raise of hand, the very first person.
Search your property.
Search and verify property. Can everyone in the back hear me? Yeah, so maybe I don't need that microphone, right? Okay. Search and verify property. So because it is a listing and I'm working with the seller, in this scenario, Oprah, I'm going to go ahead and click on that button that says, thank you. Thanks, Sharon. I'm going to go ahead and click on the button that says, create listing. So let's go ahead and do that. Because you are in Indiana, this is one of the things I'm going to mention at the back end and go more in depth is your zip form. So we have a single sign-in integration with zip form. So no matter what, you always want to start with creating your zip form transaction first, okay? I have my zip form transaction created. I'm going to go ahead and create a listing now. The address that I have is going to be, let me pull it up here, 12262 Woods Bay Place in Carmel, Indiana. So once I type in that address, I actually have two different options. So the first one is going to be Google, because we were looking at Google Maps, and the second one is ZipForms Plus. So let me go ahead and take a moment and explain what the difference would be. So all in all, when you are searching and verifying property address, what we're simply doing for you in the system is making life a lot more efficient. Unless you want to sit there and type in the same information in zip form over and over again, and then go in Skyslope and type it out over and over again. Do you want to do that, Valerie? No. No. She said no, for those who didn't hear her, right? Because I want you to be efficient with your time. So in essence, I started with that zip form transaction, and now, when I choose this option here, so I'm searching for the address, do you see in the upper right-hand corner where it says zip form successfully imported 11 fields? That's 11 fields. I don't have to sit there and type in that date again. I think that's pretty awesome, right? Absolutely. So now, since I already searched the address, move it over here, I'm going to go ahead and verify that address. Verify to make sure all the information is correct. So it automatically populated in everything. If you are a secretary and you are creating this listing for your agent, please make sure you identify who that listing agent is in this area. If you are co-listing with another agent, you can always add them here. But the type is going to represent the property that you're working with. So just a couple of side comments on that. As Monica and my team are building this out, we have already recognized through the 3 days of training that there are some properties that have not been generated in here just because you haven't encountered too much. But you will see a checklist for commercial property. You will also see a checklist for new construction. And as you're going through Skyslope, if you have any suggestions and feedback, please send it to Monica and she can work with the team to see how we can facilitate that process for you. Okay? So in our example, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a new property, so new home. And look at that. It has already pulled in the list price, the year built. I can put in my commission information, so let me go ahead and type that in if I wanted to. 7%, JR, what is going on? I love it. I'm going to be in your team.
Good.
And you see, just like that, the list date and expiration date already popped in. So in essence, team, you have your zip form transaction created, you populate it with information because you have to have it on your purchase agreement, right, or your listing agreement. This should take you no more than a minute. Do you agree? Yeah, awesome. Let me go ahead and go to the next step. So what was step number 2? I know I'm a little biased. biased. I kind of feel like I heard JR first, right? So, but JR wants his bag. And with all the cookies, here you go, sir. Thank you. Confirming your contacts. Look at how magical this next step is. When I go to the next step, ta-da, I'm done. Because I already have that information in my zip form transaction, it automatically pulled that over. So now I can just quickly glance to make sure everything looks good, and I'm on to step number 3. How easy was that? Super easy, right? Because I think everybody's going to start with the zip form transaction. Also, too, for those inquiring minds, because again, I'm psychic, remember? If you have multiple sellers, absolutely feel free to add them. Of course, if you already had your zip form transaction, those sellers will automatically pull over as well. But for any property file within Skyslope, you have both an opportunity, excuse me, to add up to 5 co-sellers, 5 co-buyers, and even 5 co-agents on any property. Just in case you're wondering. You were thinking that, right? No.
Well, that's a good point.
That is a good point, thank you. So the very last step, third and final step. It's pretty good, going by pretty fast, don't you think? Okay. Third and final step, what was that? Oh, there's so many, what am I gonna do? Okay. Do you think she said it first?
I heard it first.
You heard her first? Do you think it might be because she's next to you?
My next is here.
You're next to his ears? Why not? Why not? Okay. I'll agree with that. But they have more. So don't be alarmed, we have more. Okay. So the very last step is just to turn in your documents. So we have a couple of different options here. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you something really magical. And I'm going to show you how that works inside of Skyslope. So across the top team, there's our address, agent information, list price. Ooh, that's a good one for Oprah, right? $965,000. The seller information, the email address, think about that one, and the year built. So traditionally, when you fill out a form and you have to attach something and submit it online, you have that on your computer, correct? Yes? Okay, awesome. So if I had it on my computer, I can simply click on attach, upload it directly from my computer, and then go ahead and pull it down. It's as simple as that. Pretty straightforward, team. Any questions? Okay. Yeah. He's like, oh, that is good. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Remember, this is being recorded, so I have you saying that. Okay. Let me go ahead and show you the fan favorite. Because how many of you actually get your documents from your clients via email? Right? Or through DocuSign? Are you getting it back through DocuSign and in email? Okay. Everyone else, what signatures? Is that what you're getting? Okay, we can facilitate all of that. This unique email address here, every time you create a property file inside of Skyslope, we create a very unique email address just to that property. So what you can do is, if I were to grab this email address, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and copy that email address. And do you remember that email that I received from Oprah with the listing packet? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and forward it into the system. Just like that. Copy that email address, forward it into the system, take it on its happy path. So it's going to take a few seconds because it's about 18 pages. So while it's doing that, let me talk about some other options you have with Skyslope. Okay. Does anybody recognize him?
I don't think so.
Can you see? That's Jack Nicholson, Jr. Yes, it really is him.
Emily,
Yes.
can we just kind of clarify that every transaction is assigned its own email address?
So for clarification, every transaction, so every file you create in the system, listings or transactions, generates its own unique email address. So Dan,
Yes.
yeah, we're making eye contact. So Dan's probably wondering, well, gee, Emily, if I have this property created now, and I have that unique email address, right? What if a year from now we list it now, someone buys it, a year from now they want to list it again? If you put in that property address again, it's going to generate yet a new unique email address. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it just increases it by a digit. So it's always unique, so those documents are very specific to that property. Okay? Okay. But here I am, standing in line at Starbucks, trying to get that gift card for my team. Didn't work. Just kidding. Because they're so amazing. But what we have for you, for all the agents, are apps, free apps, at the App Store. So if you have an iPhone, you can download an app. If you have an Android, you can download an app as well. Android is read-only, but guess what? Most of our agents, when they have their phone, they want to be mobile and on the go. Everybody's cruising on the browser, correct? So you can always use it on your browser and be on the go with Skyslope. So JR's wow, I'm like, wow, I can go on vacation and no one would know. That is correct, right? That's what people are saying. As a matter of fact, one of you, you know who you are, modeled for that poster that you see in front of you. Someone's on vacation right now, enjoying it, and none of us would know it the better because they can do everything via the internet, right? As long as you have an internet connection, you can be successful with Skyslope. Okay, I'm in line, or I'm between client appointments. I'm constantly on the go. Once I download for this, the iPhone app, if I have an email with the documents, I can go ahead and open up the attachment team, okay? Touch the send icon. So there's a little icon at the bottom of your phone where you can shoot it over to something, and that something is going to be your Skyslope app now. I can then choose the destination. So all of my different property addresses will appear. I make my selection, and then voila, that's pretty much it. So imagine your existing process today. If someone were to send you that document, do you run home or run into the office, print it out, and then give it over to your secretary, your manager to review? Possibly, maybe, maybe not. But imagine if you can do this right on your phone on the app and just take care of business in no more than a couple of seconds. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to Skyslope. And let's look at that packet that came in. So earlier what Monica had alluded to was, here's the property address, 12262 Woods Bay Place. So the email address, very straightforward, it's going to be the street name, the street number at skyslope.com. So if this property were to be listed again, at the very end it's just going to add the number 1. And once it's listed again, it's going to add 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So every time you're working with that property, that active live property, it's always going to have a unique email address. Okay? When I go into the Documents tab, remember that email that I sent over from Oprah, I forwarded into the system? Anytime you take any email and forward it into that property address for Skyslope, unique to that property, any attachments is going to automatically appear down here. So that's a quick, fast way to get documents into the system. No need to print it out or scan it with your Konica machine and shoot it into the system. You can do it right from your Gmail account. Other things to think about is not just for sending documents into the system, but imagine, let me ask you a question. How many of you have had to print out your email correspondences to show your manager who said what date, what time for compliance purposes, right? Absolutely. So when you're having correspondence with your clients or even with the title company, whoever it might be, if you include that email address in your correspondence, it will also be captured in here. So I'm going to show you the login a little bit. How about text messaging? Who likes to text message? Okay, a few more folks. That unique email address, if you're having a group text message, let's say with the seller, if I'm texting Oprah today, if I also include that email address where the phone number field is, those text messages will also appear in the log as well. So as I'm traveling across the US and I'm meeting different brokerages, one thing that comes up more often is all of those communications, all of those text messages and emails, brokers want a copy of it, right? So if you are in that same scenario where you want to keep those copies, Why not take care of it right now, and you don't have to worry about printing it out later. Okay, third and final step, attaching those documents to the different checklist items. And actually, let me go back to the checklist here. I apologize. I forgot to mention how easy it is to review it. As you can see, we're trying to make this very, guess-proof. You don't have to guess for that particular property file you're working with which documents are required and which ones are not. So when you come in here, if it's in the red, for those in the back, if it's a little fuzzy, anything in the red means that document is required by your managers to be submitted for their review and approval. You might also see other items that says it's if applicable, so it only applies in certain scenarios for that particular property type. So you know right off the bat without having to second guess. So Sarah and Andy back there, I did forget about you both, right? You don't have to second guess anymore in regards to what you need to submit and what you don't need to submit. Okay, so let's go back to that document, and I'm going to show you an amazing feature that we have inside of the system. Split and assign. So how many of you, when you get documents from your clients, they separate everything out in its own individual documents, or do they shoot you over the entire packet? Normally you're sitting with them, they're signing the entire packet, correct, of documents, or you're getting it emailed to you via DocuSign via the entire packet? Absolutely. So anytime you have a PDF inside of our system, you can utilize this tool called Split. And it will allow you, so on the right-hand side, team, is a preview of those PDF pages. So if you wanted to, you can go ahead and zoom in, zoom out, and scroll through the pages utilizing the arrows, or just the scroll bar on the right-hand side. But this is how it would work. So right off the bat, I see that I have my listing agreement. So I'm gonna, if I start typing it in, there's a couple of options. So as I'm starting to type in what that new document name would be, if it matches with anything on the checklist, those options will automatically appear. I'm not being lazy, I just want to really be efficient. So I can simply say it is my listing contract, and right off the bat, the system will automatically fill that in for you, so you don't have to sit there and type out the whole name or worry about any spelling errors. And I can simply just scroll through my documents and see how many pages it is. Pages 1 to 8. That's it. Done. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, let me go ahead and do that with another document. So I have my agency agreement. I don't want to worry about that right now. But I also see, for example, if this was my seller's disclosure, I can go ahead and select that, and it's pages 9 to 12. Okay. I'm sorry, pages 12 to 12. Let me go ahead and change that. So I'm going to go ahead and say split and assign. So it's going to, in essence, kill two birds with one stone. Not only am I taking this 18-page document and stripping out only the pages that I want and telling the system what pages they are, I'm going to go ahead and simultaneously assign it to the checklist. Let me go ahead and pause for a second. Ooh, that sounds different when I put it closer to my mouth. Nice job. Can everybody see that? Nice job. Do you know what that is? That's Emily's voice speaking to you every time you split and assign documents in the future, because I won't be here, right? So think of it as me whispering in your ear, nice job, right? So you know you're doing the right thing. I know, I like to tease. But let's go ahead and go to the checklist. So just like that, team, ta-da, those items that were in red, for those all the way in the back, if you can't see it, it has been converted to yellow. And in that yellow space, it actually says in review. So your managers right now can get an alert to let them know, or your secretaries will see that they have something to go through the initial review, and your manager would do the final review. They will get those alerts. So you're just going to go on your happy path of uploading the required documents. They'll get notifications to review it. So now maybe JR is also thinking, okay, Emily, that's fantastic. They get alerted. What about me? What's in it for me? Isn't it always what's in it for me? Maybe. I appreciate the honesty there. So what will happen is your managers have the ability to click one simple button, because we make it as easy for them as it is for you, to say, I want to update the agent. So what do you get? Okay, what you're going to get, Dan, is you're going to get an email. Let me show you a copy of that email. That looks exactly like this. Oh, let me go ahead and zoom in. Can everybody kind of see that? So wherever you are, mobile, on the go, you will get an email that will explicitly say that the checklist, the Skyslope checklist was reviewed. It'll let you know right off the bat in the subject line what the property address is, and it's going to give you an update in regards to what the current status is of those checklist items are. So if your manager has reviewed it and they accepted it, can anyone see what it says? Completed, right? So you know, score, you're good to go. If something is still in review, it'll say still in review. But if they have rejected something, the system requires them. It absolutely requires your managers to say, why are they rejecting it? In this scenario here, I have the agency agreement. It's missing the signatures on the last page. So without having to second guess team, I can go ahead and click on the link to log right into Skyslope, go to that property and take care of any missing signatures or initials. So far, so good?